Thank you, Tajuddin. Participants of the Terrorism101 course, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good afternoon and salam satu Malaysia. I'm honored to be here today with my colleagues to welcome all of you to SEARCCT's first capacity building program for the year 2013, entitled Terrorism101, here in Cameron Highlands, Pahang. The objective of this course is to enhance the understanding of government officials with regards to the threat of terrorism in the region, our counter-terrorism efforts, and the role and function that we all need to play to counter this phenomenon. I am reminded here of the words of Albert Einstein that peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, for the vast majority of nations, the threat of terrorism remains something distant, something that happens in the past or in other countries and continents. In other words, terrorism hardly enters into their realm of consciousness. In the absence of a major terrorist attack in Malaysia, this is hardly surprising. But none of this has to do with luck, nor has it been because the terrorists have not sought to strike at our nation's fragile social fabric. Throughout the years, Malaysia's security forces have successfully thwarted attempted attacks and have arrested numerous terrorists. Indeed, the threat of terrorism remains clear, present, and persistent. For Malaysia, complacency is simply not an option. Since 2010, 8 nations have been arrested under suspicion of being involved in terrorism. This includes the latest arrest of the former ISA detainee Yazid Sufahad. This is a reminder that even with numerous successes in the past, the tough work of counterterrorism is never complete. Unfortunately for all of us, there will never be a mission accomplished moment. Ladies and gentlemen, an issue of singular concern for all of us is of the possibility that terrorists might seek to exploit the raw enthusiasm and potential of young people for recruitment with the intention of rejuvenating and replenishing the ranks in their organizations. Thus, while the hard work of tracking and analyzing the activities of present terrorists must continue, there is a growing need to understand the strategies that lie behind their recruitment, particularly of our youth. If there is one thing that we have learned from our successful experience of fighting the Communist Party of Malaysia, it is that countering terrorism is a whole of government operation. Law enforcement authorities are not and should not be alone in such efforts. We all have to play our part, for as the saying goes, we are as strong as our weakest link. With that in mind, my colleagues and I at SEARCCT have designed this course to provide officers in the field with a working knowledge of counterterrorism. SEARCCT speakers will be lecturing on various topics on terrorism and counterterrorism issues, which will include the background and the evolution of terrorism, the current terrorism threats at the national and international levels, and the nexus between youth and terrorism. SEARCCT is also privileged to invite an unassuming warrior, a hero that has worked hard in the past to keep us safe, to deliver a talk. Datuk Paul Keong, who received the Sri Pahlawan Gagah Perkasa, will share with you his numerous exploits during the fight against communist terrorists during the second Malaysian emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, I do hope that the 2-day course here in Cameron Highlands will be a fruitful one, and that this course shall challenge, inspire, and motivate you. The last Terrorism 101 was held in Kuching in November 2012, and one of our distinguished speakers for that course was the late Datuk Kanang Anak Langkau. Perhaps it is fitting that I should end with his words, Agi hidup, agi ngelaban, or as long as I live, I shall fight. I wish you all a successful course. Thank you.